and I'm going to be muting everybody just so I don't hear like background noises. But hey everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our group coaching webinar of this month. Today we are talking about knowing and talking versus doing. So, welcome, and y'all already know who I am. Coach SassyFit. But my goal for this session is to empower you with the knowledge and tools to effectively bridge the gap between knowing what knowing what needs to be done and actually taking consistent action to achieve your goals. To reach your goals. So since we don't have any newbies here, I'm not gonna worry about doing my introduction about myself because y'all already know me. But I will remind you that if you don't already have one, I highly recommend investing in a food scale to help you stay on track and ensure that you are getting the right portions of whole nutritious foods, and also a measuring tape for your body metrics. So when you do your check-in, a part of your check-in is your body metrics, and then a part of your assessment, of course, is completing the form. So the check-in reminder, and this is just house stuff before we dive into the chat. Check-in reminder to help you stay on track with your program. We do have weekly check-ins on Sunday and Monday. I understand that things happen, but just like rent is due the same day each month, your check-in and stats and assessment forms are due the same day each week. So let's be intentional about getting that done, just because that helps me to guide you guys a little bit better on your journeys. At the very least, communicate with me if something happened and you're unable to complete the form. A lot of you are already really good at that, but just go ahead and just like, hey, if you can consider this my check-in this week, I'm going through this, that, and the third, or I'm traveling, I won't be able to, whatever the situation is, just communicate with me, because when I don't hear anything, I get nervous, because that's the empath in me. I get nervous, and then I'm trying to reach out to find out if everything's okay. So, also, it's essential to track your food, move intentionally for 45 to 60 minutes daily. Resistance train at the very least 3 times per week, and drink plenty of water. I recommend at the very least a half a gallon of water or 2 liters, and aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Even if you have to set your alarm to go to bed 30 minutes or get prepared for bed 30 minutes early, that will make a world of difference. So if you trust the game plan, we can achieve great goals together. All right. So now that we got the house rules out the way, everybody good? Everybody had a good work day? Good. All right, perfect. So now we're going to get into the icebreaker. And so if you look inside the chat, you'll see share one challenge that you faced in turning your knowledge to consistent action towards your goals. It could be a daily habit, a mindset shift, or a motivational trick that helps you to stay on track. So if any volunteers? If not, I'll pick someone. But what is a challenge that you faced in turning your knowledge into consistent action?
I'll go. Hi, everybody. I'm Shira.
Hey, Shira. Hey.
I know that, you and I have been working together as far as training and such goes for the past several years. And I don't struggle with this so much now. I do still have my moments, but early on, I struggled with using knowledge that you had taught me and knowledge that I knew to be correct because it was working out for me as long as I was working it. Mm-hmm. But there are days that I allow my mind to get lazy, meaning, okay, I might want to sleep in a little bit, which is fine, but then that little bit of sleeping in turns into, I just don't feel like doing nothing today. And I would literally allow myself to stay in the bed all day. And sometimes you need that. So, that's not necessarily a bad thing if your body calls you to rest. But when my body is up and ready to work and I'm still making it stay still, me. Like, I think that requires you to really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, like, okay, are you laying here because you're lazy, or are you laying here because you don't feel good?
Right, right,
A lot of
right,
times my answer was because I was being lazy.
right,
So, you can't be upset about the results you don't get from the work that you don't do.
right.
And so once I realized that and I adopted that into my lifestyle, like I'm a little more, I don't want to say hard on myself, but I hold myself accountable a lot more these days than I used to. So that was my challenge once upon a time.
Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you so much. And she's
Sure.
right. There are times when we know we should be doing something and we allow our minds to get the best of us and we end up not doing something. And it could be anything other than working out as well. So I appreciate you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share something that they have had that was a challenge for them, like something that they know they need to do or should do better, or and they're not really taking action but they know they need to, like, you know how people say, man, I need to do this, I need to drink more water, or I need to get up and do this, or I need to eat better, but then you continue to see them not eat better. Can anybody relate to that?
I'll testify. I sure do.
Okay,
I
so
am definitely that person.
so what's your example of that?
Well, one, I mean, although it's hard because of what I do performing full time, I have to really strategically prioritize sleep. That's been a tough one, especially in the coming months with the holidays and a lot of late nights, overnight rehearsals and stuff like that. But I recognize, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, long as I get the hours, long
Mm-hmm.
as I get the hours. So if that's, I have to, be at work for a rehearsal that starts at the
Uh-oh.
next. Oh, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, long as I get that sleep, because I know that, those 7 hours um are going to be beneficial for my overall health, of course, for my energy, but also for the results that I want to see. So that, of course, water, as funny as it is being a singer, I do not drink enough water.
Oh,
So
Kiana, you ain't supposed to tell me that. Nah.
yeah, that's
I'm
what
a.
I said. I testified. Let me confess.
I know.
Let me confess.
Yeah.
So, I don't drink a lot, but of course this summer definitely had me like, hold on, we need to get some more water. Because it was definitely
Mhm.
hot. If you hear me out of breath, I'm actually walking right now. But I
That's good. Look at
also,
you.
it rained and Shira called me out today
Yeah.
basically with what she just said, because I laid in the bed and I said, Lord, I don't feel like getting up today. I'm
Hmm.
tired. So I didn't go to the gym, but I was like, okay, let's rearrange the workout. Instead of doing arms and legs today, let's walk for 30 minutes today. We'll do arms and legs tomorrow.
Go ahead.
So,
See, there
you
you
know,
go. Yeah.
finding the balance.
Yes, and that's good. And I want to commend you also because even though you didn't do the shrimp training, you like anytime I tell you guys every little bit counts because the fact that you was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to do shrimp training because of how I'm feeling, but I'm gonna get moving, that's a testament to your intention for continuing on your activity journey. So I'm proud of you for that. Give yourself grace in that. And you can make up that workout. Shar was cheering you on. So just keep doing that. And like I say, every little bit definitely counts. So thanks for sharing that. Before I let Savernia go, Mimi said the daily habit that helps keep her on track is motivating um, her screen time because she realized that sleep is important. It's super important. Did you mean limiting your screen time? Because she understands that sleep is important. Now, limiting screen time is a big thing because a
Yeah,
lot of time. Hmm.
yeah, I meant limit screen time.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of times when what were you saying?
I'm having dinner right now.
No, you're fine. But a lot of times when we can get caught up on social media or checking things on our phone before bed, and that's the worst thing you can do for your sleep, because that light inside the phone is keeping you awake. And so that's why it's good to limit that screen time an hour or even longer before you go to bed, so your brain can turn off. That's why I use my phone to wake me up in the morning. Like, I'll get on my phone to wake me up because the light is like, okay, Chiquita, you need to get up, right? But doing it before bed, that's just not the best practice, because you're going to keep yourself wired, you're going to keep your brain moving, and it's going to be saying it's not time to go to bed yet. So that's a good point. So we'll take one more. Savernia, what was your example of something you had?
For me, recognizing something wasn't right with my body and ignoring it. That was a challenge for me because I have so much going on with work and the hours, and then trying to fit in workout, trying to fit in self care, trying to fit in everything, recognizing my body, something's not right,
Mm-hmm.
and not taking the time to go see. So if you don't do that, your body's going to make you do it.
Yes, yes.
So my body said, "Oh, you're going." So now I've set up the appointments and trying to get to the doctors now so that I can see, because I can feel something's off. Even if I'm working out, I'm working out, the fatigue,
Mm.
the just struggle to keep going is my body's saying, okay, it's time to pay attention. So for me, the challenges was making time for myself. I always talk about self-care, but part of self-care is making sure that your body is right. You can work
Right.
out all day long, but if there's something going on with your body, then it's you're not helping yourself. So
And it
that
can
was
be
for me my
counterproductive.
challenge.
Yeah. And I'm proud of you for recognizing that, because a lot of times we do get in that rut sometimes where we feel like, okay, so we're gonna move and move and move, and our body can be telling us we need to sit down, but we continue to move, and it can be counterproductive and cause things in our bodies to shut down. So we want to be careful in not doing that as well. So thank you for sharing that. Um, so now we're going to get into our coaching chat about understanding, knowing, talking, and doing. So when you hear me say knowing, talking, and doing, what comes to mind? Any volunteers? Go ahead, LaShawn. Go ahead, LaShawn. What you got, girl?
I'm like pressing the wrong button. I'm like, wait, I can't get
It's
it out.
okay.
This
I
side is
figured
a
I'd
bit
help you out.
good. You said knowing, talking, and doing.
Yes, knowing,
So,
talking, and doing. What
so
comes
for
to
me,
mind?
it just came across real quick. I guess I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So don't just talk the talk. Um, complete your complete your job that you're supposed to be doing, like your exercises, logging your foods and things of that nature.
I love it. Girl, you hit the nail on the head. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you so much for sharing. So that's exactly right. Knowing is the knowledge, the starting point stemming from your intellect. It's about understanding what needs to be done or achieved. Talking is communicating your intentions or plans, which is important, but it's crucial to convert these words into action in order to see results. And doing is the action where knowledge transforms into reality. It's so many people that I come in contact with that is to do a lot of this and no follow through. And I have been, since I can remember, probably my entire life, I have been an action person. I don't believe people by what they tell me, because it's not that I don't hear you. I'm going to hear you, but I'm also going to be watching to see if what you said is going to be followed up by action, because it's just so many people who just talk. And talk is cheap, as they say, right? You need to actually put the work in. So, um, it's the emotional aspect that drives us to implement plans and achieve goals. So it's easy to fall into the trap of knowing or talking about taking concrete action. But imagine someone who knows everything about gardening or talks extensively about gardening, but never actually gets their hand dirty in the soil. What's the point of talking about it, right? You might as well just let it be. Just let it be a thought and leave it there, right? So, action counts. Mahatma Gandhi famously said that the future depends on what you do today. And this statement underscores the importance of taking action in the present moment to shape your future. So you want to make sure that anything that you say or set your mind to, that you make the intention to actually do it. And the knowing and doing gap is crucial. Preparation is definitely crucial, and it's essential to bridge that gap between planning and execution. Like for me, I have to-do lists. My to-do list is essentially me like knowing what I need to do. But me actually going through that list and checking things, like doing things and checking things off, that's me accomplishing my said task for the day. Because what's the point of having a to-do list if you end the day and nothing is checked off, right? So that's my example of, you know, having a plan and actually executing on that plan. Anytime something comes to mind, we had a call before where I showed you guys the task list and how I do that. And it's a game changer. And that just kind of, because I've been working on not being such a multitasking queen. It's hard not to multitask when I have so many things to do and I'm good at multitasking. But to help me keep my mind more focused, that's when I started doing the task list. So if something happens to come to my mind in the midst of me doing something, I can then go type it there and keep doing what I'm doing. That because I know I'm gonna check that list. Once I finish everything, I'm like, okay, what have I not done? And then when my list is complete, I'm like, ah, you got it done today, girl. I'd be so happy. So, here are some tips for moving from knowing to doing. To bridge the gap in your personal and professional life. One, identify habits that might hinder your ability to take action. If y'all don't have pen and paper, you might want to grab it because these are great tips. And I'm recording this as well, so I'll post this link in the chat so y'all can watch it back if you need to. Also, number two, remember that any action, no matter how small, is a step forward. Just like when Kiana was saying, she was tired, she didn't feel like going to the gym, but she decided, okay, I'm going to reschedule my workout and go for a walk today. That was a step forward. She didn't just stay in the bed all day, which she could have, right? Number three, focus on incremental progress rather than striving for perfection. Because nobody's perfect. And I heard a friend of mine say something so profound today, and I had to call her out on it. But she put it on like a picture, and I was like, girl, you just said a word. And so then she went and made a video post about it. But one thing that she said was to have high expectations for yourself and not give yourself grace is essentially bullying yourself. Y'all hear that? To have high expectations for yourself and not give yourself grace, you are essentially bullying yourself. It's quite all right to have high expectations. I have very high expectations for myself and for everybody I encounter. I have high expectations, right? But with those high expectations, I give myself grace and I give you all grace because I understand that there's no perfect person. Things happen, and as long as we communicate, we're good, right? So the same grace that you give other people, you have to be okay with giving yourself that same grace. Beating yourself up because one day you decided to eat a whole pint of ice cream when you know you shouldn't have eaten that whole pint of ice cream. Okay, you ate the whole pint of ice cream. Unless you throw it up, which I wouldn't recommend because that's an unhealthy relationship with food, it's already consumed. So start the next day, get back on what you know you need to do, go for a walk, and start eating like you should. Or a whole pizza. You're right, a whole pizza. So whatever that thing is, you might be like, dang, I know I shouldn't have did that. But you did it. You can't take it back. You did it. Just like you can't change nothing that happened in the past, you can only move forward. You can't change your old self. If your old self was not a good person, but you did the work to get yourself to be better, and you're better now, you can't change how you were back then. Back then is not coming back. So all you can do is continue to work on yourself now and continue to grow moving forward. So that's the same thing with giving yourself grace. Focus on progress and not perfection. That's why I talk so much about not hounding the scale, because the scale is not the 1,000% indicator of your progress or the lack thereof. If your clothes are fitting looser, you're having more energy, you like how you look in the mirror, you notice your face is slimming down, and you got people complimenting you, girl, you losing weight, you look good. Those are indication of progress. And that's why when I do you guys is 30-day progress and 8-week progress, that's why I put the pictures right next to each other, because throughout the course of the week and the months, you're not seeing that. You're just like, oh, I'm taking pictures again. But when you see them side by side, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize. So that's why I tell people, like, yes, the scale is going to give me a number, but it's not the end all be all of your progress. And 4, recognize that actions, concrete momentum, and energy propelling you closer to your goals. Okay? Actions create momentum. Actions create momentum and energy, which is going to propel you closer to your goals. Make sense? So talking about doing something and actually doing it are two very different things. So imagine, like I said before, wanting to start a garden. You might read about gardening, you might watch tutorials, and even talk enthusiastically about your plans with friends and family. But in today's digital age, it's effortless to share intentions across various platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the other social media platforms, right? But understanding something intellectually and declaring your intentions is not the same as taking actions. Telling somebody what you need to do and what you want to do and how it's so important to you, that's not, you can do that all day, but it's not the same as actually taking action on those said things. So the former may change your mindset a bit, but the latter is what transforms your identity. So knowing through doing is where the true growth happens. It's making sense for everybody. Y'all like this chat today? Is this a good one? Yay! I get so excited. All right, so consider this. Have you ever known someone full of passion and ideas, yet they struggle to follow through? Anybody? Just me? I'm pretty sure everybody, right? This isn't just an anecdotal thing. There's some science behind it. So merely talking about goals, y'all listen closely now, merely talking about your goals can trick our brains into feeling accomplished, even if no progress is made. And depending on the person, that rings extremely true, depending on the person and their personality. Well, I said I was going to do this, and they might even do it for a day or two, and then they fall right back into their old ways. So that's why I say consistency is key. If you aspire to be an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, be mindful of how much you discuss your ideas. Each conversation may provide a fleeting sense of achievement, deterring actual progress. So reflect on instances where discussing your goals led to delayed action or disappointment. Anybody can relate to that point? Instances where discussing goals led to delayed action or disappointment. Any volunteers there? Nobody? Y'all shy today? Go ahead, Marilyn. Thank you, girl. Don't leave me hanging. Go ahead. Y'all know I'm a mess. Your hair is beautiful, by the way.
I just got it done yesterday.
It looks so good. Don't it feel good when you get it done and people notice?
Yes. What?
Because I was like, hold on, I got looking sick shiny today. Okay.
They got that special conditioner.
Yeah.
But I think what I grabbed from what you just said is sometimes if you're discussing your goals or your plans with the wrong people,
Mm-hmm.
they discourage you or they make you feel like you can't do that. Like, what are you talking about? You can't.
Right.
You always say that. Like,
Right.
so you have to like surround yourself with people that are gonna encourage you or find that encouragement somewhere, because like that's why I came to you or the trainer that I was with at Crunch, because I don't have anybody here at
Mm-hmm.
home
Mm-hmm.
to encourage healthy eating habits and exercise daily. And my kids, they're like, fix me some chicken nuggets, some
Right.
french fries, can we go to McDonald's? Like,
Right.
nobody cares about protein
Right.
intake.
Right.
So I'm really enjoying getting that from you and from the whole team, and everybody just supporting everybody and having a
Mm-hmm.
whole like-minded goal. So, but I think that's I think you also have to be careful who you tell your goals to. So
Absolutely. And that reminds me of when I first started my business 5 years, oh my gosh, 5 years ago. When I first started my business 5 years ago, and my business coach, who's my friend, um, she encouraged me a lot. And she said one thing, because I was still working for the state at the time. And I don't know, God led me to reach out to her for, I don't even remember. I just was inspired by something she posted, and I reached out to her, and she called me right back, and she was like, it's your time, because she's a believer. So she was like, it's your time, right? She said, we're having this conversation for a reason, right? I said, I feel like we are. And long story short, she told me, whatever you do in your steps in starting your business, be careful who you talk to. She said, don't tell your family, don't tell anybody. You have me as your coach and anybody that you know who will support you, but do not tell your family, because the first thing family is going to do, because they're not accustomed to um what you're doing. If you never had full-time entrepreneurs in your family and they've always worked for someone, they're going to tell you you're not going to be able to pay your bills. They're going to tell you you're not going to be able to sustain yourself. And the fact that you're a single mom, they're going to tell you ain't going to be able to take care of your kids. But Zach, you well taken care of, aren't you, boo? Uh-huh. But so I didn't. And what I did was, at the time, I was roommating with my dad, and I paid 2 months rent um without him knowing that I was an entrepreneur, because I would get up. I had made a plan for myself. I would get up the same time every day, take my boys to school, and then come over to my then boyfriend's house, who's not my husband, but come over to his house because he allowed me to share his office so that I could learn how to start my business. And then I would go pick my boys up from school and go back home. So it was the same routine. So my dad didn't know. He thought I was still going to the same job. And so after 2 months of paying my rent on time, I said, Dad, guess what? I said, I started my own business. I said, I don't work for the state anymore. He was like, what? You started your own business doing what? I said, I'm gonna be a personal trainer and, fitness coach and this and that. He was like, what? So how long you been doing it? I said, 2 months. And he was like, he couldn't say nothing. You know why? Because I paid my bills and my boys were fed. So there was no discouragement. And I was glad that I listened to that wise
We don't
counsel.
now. Sometimes that includes family.
It
I'm
always
sorry.
includes. No, no, no. That's what I was saying. She said, whatever you do, don't tell your family. Right, because
Hmm.
I remember when I told my brother after the fact, that was the main thing he said. How you gonna take care of yourself? What about the boys? You gonna be able to pay your bills? You need something to fall back on. I said, this is my something. And I've been doing this something for 5 years, and I'm doing just fine. So just thank y'all so much. So I just said all that to just encourage you guys, again, just like Marilyn was saying, be mindful of the things that you speak. um just move. People gonna see. People gonna see. Even with my music, I didn't make a broadcast statement that I was gonna be making music. I just started making music, and people's like started approaching me, girl, you sing? You can sing. I didn't know you could sing for real. Because first and foremost, I didn't know how it was gonna pan out. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. But if you start doing a lot of this, you can also discourage yourself, because you can have all these high expectations and these high hopes and these high aspirations of what the outcome may be of something you do, and then you tell all these people, and then when it doesn't pan out the way you thought it might pan out, then now you're discouraged and you want to quit. But if you just take the action and let it do what it does in the process it's supposed to be do it in, you'll be surprised what may happen, and people will notice without you having to make a broadcast statement of what you're doing. Does that make sense? And this happens to so many people for so many tasks, goals, and ideas. So remember, telling someone about your great idea does not equal progress. Okay. Now, the next thing we're thank you, Kiana. She said you speaking to me today. Well, I'm glad that I'm able to reach you guys. I was excited about this topic. I was like, I hope they like, I'm always nervous about the hard topics. But now we're going to talk about how knowing and talking versus doing can affect your time management. How many of us struggle with time management? Let's be honest. And some of us may think we have it all together, but we really don't. But the trap of knowing and talking without doing can significantly impact your time management. When you spend more time discussing and planning than actually executing tasks, your productivity can suffer. This is where procrastination comes into play. And I think we talked a little bit about procrastination last month, but spending a lot of time talking about what you want to do and making all these plans, it can delay your time, right? So it's essential to recognize that effective time management requires action. So here are some tips to how this dilemma can affect your time. The first thing, I just mentioned it, procrastination. Talking extensively about tasks can lead to procrastination, where the actual work is delayed or avoided altogether. Because when you're talking about it, you end up thinking like, man, that's going to be a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. And then after a while, you talk yourself out of doing it, right? Can anybody relate to that? You look like you want to speak. Go ahead, Shari. You look like you want to speak to that. Go ahead, girl. Hold on, let me.
Yes. So just like Kiana said, you talking to me like, because we just had a conversation about this last week when I was telling you that one conversation we had, you was preaching to me and didn't even know you was preaching to me. That's what I'm talking about. And it goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, like I'm laying in the bed all day knowing good and heck well you need to be in the gym. You know you got to work later on. You know you ain't going to feel good about yourself if you don't start your day with this workout, because that sets the tone for my day.
Right.
But as I'm sitting there thinking about it, the more I think about it, the more I talk myself right on out of it.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
That's how it works. And you are so right. Thank you for sharing that. And you're so right. And I'm not exempt, because there are days when you just feel like, I don't feel like it. But sometimes I just be like, just get up, girl. Like I scream at myself. I'm like, just get up, girl. Get up. And then I'll just be like, okay. So like sometimes you just gotta scream at yourself, just get up, just get out the bed. Like what you going back and forth with the devil over here and the angel over here for? Get out the bed. So that's that you can definitely spend more time talking yourself out of what you need to do and making excuses. Like I had a friend today tell me, she knows that she should not eat red sauce because red sauce upsets her stomach. And so when she told me what she had, I had some spaghetti with red sauce, and girl, that tore my stomach up. I couldn't even finish the video. I had to stop it and be like, now why you do that to yourself? And she goes, well, because that's all I had to eat, and it was either starve or eat the spaghetti. I said, no, I would have rather starved, drank some water, and got something that wouldn't have upset my stomach, because what are you doing? Why would you inflict yourself with pain and use the excuse of whether it's either be hungry or eat the red sauce? No, ma'am, you don't do that to yourself. You already know what the end result is going to be. Your stomach is going to be torn up. So you're going to be cramping and hurting and all that stuff, but you still going to eat it? That doesn't make sense to me. So I was like, no, if you were that hungry, first you should have prepared properly. But since you didn't prepare properly, you could have went and found something better for your stomach. So now you're sitting in pain all day because you ate some red sauce you shouldn't have ate. So you just have to be careful about that type of stuff. Like, just stop making excuses. That's an excuse that didn't need to be had. LaShawn said I had to talk myself into working out, although I know I was limited because I felt lazy. And that happens, but you did it. That's the best part. Huh? Yep, that's that. With one arm, she injured herself at work. Go ahead and tell us about it, girl. Go ahead.
I was pulling a patient over with a backboard to pull them over, and I don't know if I sprained my shoulder or not, so I'm limited right now. but I put the arm in a sling and I still did my little cardio.
You did what you had to do.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
had to
good that
do.
you okay, Kiana, thanks for being on. Um but yeah, you got to do what you got to do, even if you just got to walk because you're injured. I remember when I injured my shoulder a few years back, the one mistake I made when my coach told me not to do any activity till my shoulder healed, I took her by, because I can be a bit literal. I can own that, okay? So she told me not to do anything. So I didn't think, girl, you could have been walking. So when I gained all this weight, I was frustrated. And of course, when I was cleared to start back working out, I did what I had to do, but it was very uncomfortable because I wasn't used to being the size that I was. And I'm like, if only I would have walked, it would have been less of a strain. But when you learn better, you do better. I said, if I ever injure myself again and my feet work, I'm walking because you
That's
can
what
walk
I
that
was thinking of.
inflammation.
I
Huh?
was like, I said, I am not going to gain this weight. Let's get it, girl.
Right, right. And you can walk the inflammation down and all that. So I'm glad that you did that. Kudos to you for that. Another thing is time mismanagement. So, excessive planning and discussion can consume valuable time that could otherwise be spent on completing tasks. Another thing is a goal achievement delay. Focusing solely on knowing and talking delays progress towards achieving your goals as actions are necessary for tangible results. This is the worst. Overwhelm and stress. A backlog I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that again. A backlog of unexecuted plans can lead to overwhelm and stress, which can impact overall well-being and productivity. Not to mention an increase in cortisol levels, an increase in uh inflammation, which can also cause bloating, water retention, and then the scale numbers go up, and then it just spirals from there, right? So that's why you just want to make sure that you put on your list what you know you can achieve, be realistic with yourself, and actually execute on those things. Stop making excuses. If you know something needs to be done, I've told my kids this. In the amount of time that you thought about doing something, you could have did it in 2 minutes. So if it's two dishes in the sink, it could have took you 1 minute to just wash the dish and get it over with instead of sitting there thinking, well, should I wash it? Well, I don't feel like washing it. And then the dish just stays there all day. Or anything in life. The time you took to think about why you should or should not do it, it could have been done. It takes only a couple minutes to do something that needs to be done. If you see something on the floor and you walk by it, it would have took 1 second for you to pick it up. You go into the direction of the trash can anyway. You see what I'm saying? So that's how things pile up. Like there are some people who are like mess up to clean up type people. They just let their mess pile up. And then they say, "Oh, I got this big old chore job I got to do." But if you would have kept it tidy throughout, it would have created less work later. And that's the same thing for your tasks, for your goals, anything that needs to be done. You just do it. I feel like I know this is Nike saying, but like I've adopted it because I feel like you should just do it. Don't think about it. The more you think about something, like Shara was saying, the more you think about it, the more you talk yourself out of completing it. So if you just say, okay, I need to do this, let's just do it. If it cross your mind, just do it. That's it. What's up, Mimi?
What you just said literally is resonating with me right now because you remember my Aunt Carmen?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Lord, if you go in my grandma room right now and you see the mess, I'm like, you need to do this, yo. Not it ain't
And at
no.
this point, she doesn't want to do it because the
Yeah, because
work is this high.
because
Right.
she's up in North Carolina taking care of Aunt Mikey when she needs to get her butt down here and do the crap that she needs to be doing instead of putting it on me and my mother.
Right.
But mainly my mom.
Right.
And that's not good.
Nope, it's not good. And again, like I said, when things pile up and pile up and pile up, after a while you look at it and you're like, I'm not gonna do that. So
Exactly.
you just gotta be careful about those things. The other thing is to improve time management and productivity, you want to strive to balance planning and execution. It's all about balance. I know a lot of you guys, when we're setting goals for the week, balance is one of the main things that you guys ask for. And that is great because balance is important, especially if you are juggling a lot. Like I juggle a lot. And so, and I've had to even pull some things off my plate as to not overwhelm myself and stress myself out because I'm taking on too much. Learning how to say no, learning how to set boundaries and be okay because I love to help people, but I have to understand that I can't help everybody. I have to be able to leave some room to help Chiquita, right? So that's important. So remember, it's the actions that you take that shape your success and fulfillment, and not just the intentions that you discuss or plan. So you need to set specific action-oriented goals, prioritize your task, and commit to taking consistent steps towards achieving those tasks. Okay, so now we're going to discuss what goals or ideas are you discussing these days? How can we shift from talking to doing and achieving tangible outcomes? Anybody have any specific goals or ideas that they've been discussing that they want to actually put into action? And it doesn't have to be fitness related. Nobody? Go
Oh,
ahead, Miriam.
I watch you guys' videos about the meal prep, and I am so not like I'm not doing meal prep. So each day it's like I'm trying to figure out what am I going to eat while staying within my, you know,
Your
my
macro.
macros.
Mm-hmm.
So where would you suggest, like brand new person, never did meal prep, where would I start?
Okay, that's a good question. So where you would start first time meal prepping is find a veggie that you like, find a meat that you like, and have some carbs, whether it's rice, potato, and just prep that. What I did when I like thinking back when I first started having a prep, of course I made it more scientific than it needed to be, and the more I did it, I was just like I was making this difficult. So batch cooking is the best thing. So if you have a rice cooker, that's what I did. I would have a rice cooker. I would cook my rice, and then say you choose two meats, chicken and beef, right?
Mm,
So you season your chicken how you want to do it. You cook up the chicken. You season your ground beef or turkey, whatever it is. You season it up. You cook that, and then you pick your veggie for the week. And then you can either sort them into bowls or you can leave them in big containers. And then you
okay.
prep, and then you just have it easily, readily available to just grab. You could put them in storage bags. Me, I like containers, but whatever works for you, whether it's a storage bag or a container. But that's the easiest way for starters is to batch cook that way. Pick one or two meats. For starters, you can just pick one meat. If I do chicken, which I don't eat chicken, but if I were to do chicken, like chicken breasts or thighs or whatever part of the chicken you like, um, if you do it boneless, you can chop it up, you cook it, chop it up, and then you have that. And it doesn't take very long. It takes a lot less time to do that than to try to figure out what to eat when you're hungry and then pick the
Yeah.
wrong things. And then it
Yeah.
feels so good where you could be like, oh, I'm hungry. I could just grab this bowl, stick it in the microwave, you know. So that's what I would recommend. Do you think that's something that would be
I
easy?
think so. How many days do you usually do at a time? Because I don't think
I
you could
do
do like a
3.
whole week,
You
right?
can do a whole week if you freeze some of the meals. So
Okay.
if I have time, I'll do 2 prep days. So I'll do a Sunday and a Wednesday.
Mm,
But if I don't have the second day, I'll just do that and I'll freeze the rest of my meals. And I've also, because my schedule has been super busy, I've incorporated factor meals as well. So that helps me on my extremely busy days when maybe I've run out of my meal prep or I'm too tired, and I can easily just take that out of the fridge. Like I'll keep like 2 in the fridge and the rest in the freezer, and I just take it out, pop it in the toaster oven or microwave, whatever you prefer. I like the toaster oven. Um, and then I have my meal.
okay.
So that's the easiest thing. And then the more you do it, you'll find like, oh, I want to try these seasonings, and I'll cook it different ways. Another thing you want to try, oh, crock pot cooking is the best. I'm telling you, if you don't
I
have a
love
crock
crock pot.
pot,
Yeah.
if you don't, that's the easiest batch cooking. You can get some chicken, throw it in a crock pot, get you some salsa, a little bit of chicken bouillon, some onions, let that thing simmer down, and you got you a week's worth of chicken to just add to your rice and veggies. That's the easiest way.
Mhm.
Easiest way. You can do it with
Yeah.
all the, like, when I tell you, it's the best. So if you have so if you have a crock pot,
Mhm.
I would recommend you doing that for you. Like, your crock pot stuff can be cooking, your rice cooker can cook your rice. Only thing you really gotta prep is your veggies, and that don't take no time.
Right.
So, and then you can switch it up. Next week, you can get some taco seasoning and put that in the chicken. You know, make it different ways, make it fun. That's what I do. Was that
I
helpful?
got you. Yeah, yeah, that's the next thing that I'm gonna tackle.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like, while it's doing its thing, you could be watching TV and just beep, it's ready. It's so, girl, I'm telling you, like, I've been doing it for so long, I done found so many shortcuts, and the food be good. You can ask
Hmm.
my kid. Don't it, Zach? Don't it?
And they have inexpensive containers at the dollar store too. So
Yes, they do. And they're very sturdy too. Dollar Tree. I
Dollar
mean, it's
Tree.
not quite a dollar anymore, but it's still a dollar and some change.
Yeah.
That's what
And you get a nice amount. And they have them at Sam's too. A lot of them. Yep. So that's great. Anybody else have questions before we go to our short video prompt? You had one, Mama Francis? You raise your hand? Oh, okay. I thought I saw you raise your hand. All right, cool. So now we're going to have a short video that I made for you guys called From Knowing to Doing, Transforming Your Life. Hopefully, this short 3-minute video will inspire you to take concrete steps towards achieving your goals and turning them, the intentions, into actions. So give me 1 minute while I cue that up. And I'm going to ask you guys to let me know if you see it and hear it. So give me just a moment. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Sound. Can y'all see that? Yes, perfect. All right, let's do it.
Baby, you should know this. That I ain't I ain't blowing no smoke. I mean, I've been sober, but you should have known it. I wasn't going.
Welcome back to SassyFit Flicks. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I know I should be doing this, but never actually doing it? You're not alone. Today, we're going to dive deep into the gap of knowing and doing and how mastering time management, organization, and consistency can transform your life. Let's explore turning our plans into action. Understanding the difference between knowing about something and actually doing it is straightforward, yet so many of us fall into the trap of talking the talk without walking the walk. It's one thing to talk about losing weight, starting a business, or learning a new skill, but it's another to actively pursue these goals. Goals and actions should always align, and if they don't, something needs to change. So why do we procrastinate? Often it's due to fear of failure, feeling overwhelmed by the task at hand, or simply not knowing where to start. The key to overcoming this is breaking down our goals into smaller, manageable tasks that don't seem as daunting. The key here is actually breaking them down, though. If we know something needs to be accomplished and it's mentally overwhelming, take that extra step to break it down into less stressful pieces. Actionable steps are your building blocks to success. Start by setting daily goals. These could be as simple as reading for 20 minutes, exercising for 20 minutes, or dedicating an hour to a project. Celebrating these small wins helps build momentum and proves yourself that you can achieve your larger goals through consistent effort. Also, make sure you conquer the day at hand. Don't think too far in advance because that alone can become overwhelming. Complete one thing and move on to the next. And if something doesn't get accomplished, do it the next day and give yourself grace. I do it all the time, and I am very successful at keeping my life organized. Commitment and consistency are your best friends on this journey. It's not enough to take action once. Success lies in what you do regularly. Consistency transforms actions into habits and habits into achievements. Remember, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time today. Anything you struggle with, work to make it a habit for at least 21 days because that's when habits form, and in 30 days they become second nature. And once you achieve this, don't veer off because continuing to do what works will give you the best success, not going back to what did not work. Knowing isn't enough. It's the doing that changes our lives. As we wrap up, I challenge you, identify one thing you've been putting off and share in the comments how you plan to take action. Let's inspire each other to move from planning to doing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more motivational insights. Here's to not just dreaming, but doing. And until next time, Coach SassyFit is out. Ta-ta for now. Yay, did y'all enjoy that? Now I gotta figure out how to oh, there we go. Boop. So did y'all enjoy that little talk there? Great. So you are a mess. So tell me what your takeaways were. Anybody? Everybody? Nobody?
From the video just now, I know it was a lot and I didn't write it down. The main thing that stuck out to me is being consistent. You have to be
Yes.
consistent in everything that you plan or set goals to do. So therefore you have a better outlook.
Yes. Yeah, I was talking kind of fast, wasn't I?
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
so
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good too. Okay,
I'm
never mind.
sorry. Sometimes I was like, man, I gotta slow down. I be talking too fast. I be having so much information to get out.
It was all good though. Everything was informative.
Thank
Was
you.
yes.
Does anyone
But
else have something that resonated with them? Whether in the video or during this conversation?
Commitment.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Hmm.
Yeah, commitment is another one.
Okay,
Stick to it. When you have something that works, stick to it.
absolutely.
And sometimes we don't. We jump off the ball, and roll down the hill a little bit before we realize, wait a minute, I had a good plan going.
Mm,
What am I doing?
right,
And but you can always back up and grab those things that work and just remember to stick to them.
absolutely. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Savernia, you got anything?
Just basically walk, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk
Hmm.
and being committed to it, um, and just identifying the habits that really hinder what's hindering your goals or you moving forward, even if the hindrance is yourself.
Right.
How do I change that if I'm talking my own self out of doing things and in accomplishing my goals? So how do I fix that? So just taking the time to identify all the habits that affects you from moving forward and walking that walk.
Yes, I love it. Yes, thank you so much. I feel like this was a productive call. All right, Zach Attack, what you got? What you learned?
Mhm.
You trying to there you go.
I was downstairs. I don't know. I was just saying, we're trying to feed. I'm saying.
Oh, you didn't, but you was on the call most of the call. What'd you learn from the call?
Oh, what? Oh, I thought you were. I'm talking about the thing you showed.
No, thank
Okay. Well, what I learned was basically you can say things and still not do the things that you say, or you'll basically, if you're saying I'm gonna do whatever next week, but then you don't start until like next year. And then
you.
like, oh no, I'll do it the next day, and then you don't do it the next day, yada yada. Just watch what you say, cause you can lie to yourself.
That's a good way to put it. You can lie to yourself because that's really what you're doing if you think about it. Well put, my son. Good job. All right, Marilyn, you up next. What was your takeaway?
we just I think a lot of it was just, you gotta put your thoughts into action, and you gotta not just say it, but like you said, just do it. Just do
Right.
it.
Just do it. Be like Nike. Just do
Do it.
it.
Just do
That
it.
was the biggest thing though. Like just do it. Just
Hmm.
just do it.
Yes, that's awesome. Mimi said consistency is key no matter what obstacles are in your way. So that's very true too. But as y'all already know, I love to give homework assignments. So y'all's homework assignment is to commit to taking at least 3 actionable steps each day that align with your goals. 3 actionable steps each day that align with your goals. Marilyn, you already told me one, so I'm gonna be checking up on you. One of them is meal prepping. So your actionable step might be food shopping for whatever that meal prep you want to do. Um, so three actionable steps. Keep a journal of the three. You can feel free to send me a message in the app for accountability. Y'all know I love to hold y'all accountable. So if y'all want that extra accountability, you can put it in the chat. That's why I have that there, the group chat. Feel free to put it there. We'll all hold you accountable, root you on, all that good stuff. So put it in the app if you want to. But keep a journal of the 3 items to track your progress and celebrate each small win as it contributes to your journey towards success. Remember, productivity is not just about being busy, because we can make ourselves busy with foolishness, right?
Mhm.
Productivity
Mhm.
does not mean being busy. It's about deliberate action, planning, and persistence to achieve meaningful results. I don't feel like my day was productive unless I got the majority of my checklist, if not my entire checklist, completed for the day. That's what I consider a productive day, and you should consider that a productive day too. A productive day is not planning about what you want to do tomorrow. That's not productive. It may help you get ready for tomorrow, but if tomorrow comes and you don't execute on that plan, it was a wasted day. So you want to make sure that in your busyness or your productivity that you are executing your product. Just like when you're at work, your productivity is you completing the task that your boss has you to complete. And if it's not completed, no matter what it is, your day wasn't productive, right? So, in closing, first and foremost, I want to thank you all for joining this session. In a world filled with endless information and well intentioned plans, taking concrete actions can make all the difference. By incorporating the strategies that I provided you guys today into your daily lives, we can create meaningful progress, turn our aspirations into achievements, and truly transform our goals into reality. Remember, you have the power, you, not nobody else, you have the power to transform your life by moving beyond mere intentions and taking consistent, deliberate actions toward your goal. It's not just about knowing what needs to be done or talking about what needs to be done. It's about actively pursuing those steps and making real progress. So keep pushing forward and let's continue to support each other on this journey towards turning our intentions into impactful actions and achieving our personal goals. Okay? I look forward to seeing you guys next month for another wellness webinar, and that topic is going to be on the benefits of vitamin C. So I hope that you guys come back for that. Bring your notepads, bring your questions, and we're going to have another great time. But that's it for today's session. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And if you missed any portion of this call, no worries. I'm going to post a link in the group chat. You have to get it from the group chat. Sorry, I'm trying to streamline things like me texting on the side and all that is just too much. So I'm going to put it in the group chat so you can get it there. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. And we did good on time. It's only 7:31. I only went 1 minute over. So thank y'all so much for your attention. You are great. I love you guys so much. And again, thank you so much for your support and trusting me as your health, wellness, and nutrition coach.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.